Last time we had completed this chapter 3. Now we summarize this chapter, which will be helpful to solve certain questions and exercise numericals. Now we see the summary. First point, when can an object be said to be in motion? We can say that an object is in motion if its position changes with respect to time. Position changes with respect to time. Second point, path length is defined as the total length of the path travelled by an object. Total length, that is total distance travelled by an object. Displacement. Displacement is the change in the position, that is if an object is travelling along positive x direction, then delta x equal to x2 minus x1, that is final position minus initial position. I have indicated above by capital F, which is x2, that is the final position, and x1, that is the initial position. Path length is greater than or equal to the displacement between the same points. Path length greater than or equal to sign I have kept besides the displacement. Fifth point, average velocity, that is denoted by v bar equal to delta x upon delta t. Now average speed, it is the ratio of total path traversed, that is travelled, to the corresponding time interval, and the average speed is greater than or equal to magnitude of average velocity over a given time interval. That is average speed greater than or equal to average velocity magnitude. Instantaneous velocity or simply velocity, that is denoted by v equal to limit of v bar as delta t tends to 0, that is limit of average velocity. V bar means average velocity equal to limit of delta x upon delta t as delta t tends to 0, that is delta t becomes infinitesimally small. Infinitesimally small means very small as possible, that is nearer to 0, tends to 0 but not equal to 0, and the most simplified form is equal to dx by dt, which I have tick marked besides. V equal to dx by dt in differential form. Next, point number 8, average acceleration denoted by a bar equal to delta v upon delta t. Now instantaneous acceleration or simply acceleration, that is a equal to limit of a bar delta t tends to 0, which is equal to limit of delta v upon delta t as delta t tends to 0, and in the most simplified form a equal to dv by dt, which you can learn by heart. That is the differential form of acceleration. Acceleration from the graph of velocity versus time can be found out by calculating the slope of the graph. That is, the slope of velocity time graph gives the acceleration of an object. For uniform motion, acceleration is 0, and the vt graph is a straight line parallel to the time axis, straight line parallel to the time axis, while for motion with uniform acceleration, VT graph is a straight line inclined to the time axis. Previously parallel to time axis, and here inclined to time axis in the case of uniform acceleration. 10th point, the area under the velocity time graph gives the value of displacement, that is area under VT curve gives displacement of the object. Point number 11 and the last one, for uniformly accelerated rectilinear motion, that is motion along a straight line, kinematic equations of motion which we already derived by graphical method as well as by the method of calculus. Here again we refer it, v equal to v0 plus at, x equal to v0t plus 1/2 at square, and v square equal to v0 square plus 2ax. All the three equations have been tick marked. Now in the above equations, that is in the second equation and the third equation, first one as it is, in the second and third equations, if the position of the object at time t equal to 0 is 0, and if the particle starts at x equal to x0, then x in the above equations has to be replaced by x minus x0. That is, equation number 2 will become x minus x0 equal to v0t plus 1/2 at square, or taking x0 on the other side, x equal to x0 plus v0t plus 1/2 at square, and the third equation becomes v square equal to v0 square plus 2a into bracket x minus x0 bracket over. So this ends the summary. Now note down few questions in your notebook which would be helpful to you. Which I am dictating. Question number 1. What is path length and displacement of an object? Question mark. Out of the two, which can be of negative sign and whose magnitude can be equal to 0? Question mark. 2 marks. Question number 2. Define average velocity and write its equation for an object moving along positive x-axis. Also define average speed. 2 marks. Question number 3. Write both the equations of instantaneous velocity into bracket, that is simply velocity bracket over, for an object moving along positive x-axis. 1 mark. Question number 4. Derive the kinematic equations for an object moving with uniform acceleration into bracket, that is constant acceleration, both stand for one and the same meaning, along positive x-axis by graphical method. 3 marks. Question number 5 and the last one. Write the equation of the velocity of object B, capital B, relative to object capital A. 1 mark. Now we solve The exercise numericals. We just see it. Example 3.1. In which of the following examples of motion can the body be considered approximately a point object? Now here A, B, C and D, 4 different examples are given. Here any one or two can be asked for 1 mark as an objective. A part, a railway carriage moving without jerks between two stations. B, a monkey sitting on top of a man cycling smoothly on a circular track. C, a spinning cricket ball that turns sharply on hitting the ground. D, a tumbling beaker that has slipped off the edge of a table. Now here we have to find out that which one can be considered as a point object out of all those 4. The answers are A and B. Now why is it so? Say a body can be regarded as a point object provided the necessary condition is that its dimensions can be neglected compared to the distance covered by the object. Here in the A part the condition is satisfied, and also in the B part the condition is satisfied. Here solution description is: in A and B, object can be considered as point object because the dimensions of the objects can be neglected as compared to distance covered by it, which I told you previously. But this condition is not followed in C and D, so it cannot be considered as point object. So this example is over. Now next one. Example 3.5. A jet airplane traveling at the speed of 500 km per hour ejects its products of combustion at the speed of 1500 km per hour relative to the jet plane. What is the speed of the latter with respect to an observer on the ground? Speed of the latter means speed of the combustion products with an observer on the ground. We refer its solution. Here Vj, Vg and Vo, 3 symbols have been taken. Vj means velocity of jet plane, Vg refers velocity of combustion products, that is velocity of gas ejected, and Vo velocity of observer on ground. Now suppose that jet plane is moving in positive x-axis, then ejected combustion products are in minus x-axis, that is along negative x-axis in the opposite direction of the jet plane. Now Vj equal to 500 km per hour, that is as per the data given. V0 equal to 0 because it is at rest. Now velocity of jet plane with respect to observer denoted by Vjo, which I have written besides, equal to, according to the definition of relative velocity, equal to Vj minus V0. So equal to 500 minus 0, which is equal to 500 km per hour, which is given as equation 1. Velocity of combustion products with respect to jet plane. Combustion products, that is Vg, with respect to jet plane, that is Vj. So Vg minus Vj equal to minus 1500 kilometer per hour. Minus sign because in the opposite direction of the jet plane. 1500 is given in the data. So minus 1500 kilometer per hour. Now this is written as equation number 2. Now from 1 and 2, that is by adding equations 1 and 2. So 1, that is Vj minus Vo, and 2, that is Vg minus Vj. So adding Vj and minus Vj, that cancels away. So we get Vg minus Vo, Vg minus Vo. As such, from equation 1, minus Vo plus Vg. So that is nothing but Vg minus Vo, which is referred as Vgo, which I have written besides. That is now Vgo equal to Vg minus Vo equal to, substituting the values of Vg and Vo, equal to 500 minus 1500, which is equal to minus 1000 kilometer per hour, which is the final answer. Now minus sign has not to be considered here, and so velocity of ejected combustion products, that is velocity of the gas ejected by as observed by observer on the ground, is 1000 kilometer per hour in the opposite direction to that of jet plane. So magnitude is 1000 kilometer per hour. Now next example, example 3.6. We refer the problem. A car moving along a straight highway with speed of 126 km per hour is brought to a stop within a distance of 200 meter. What is the retardation of the car into bracket assumed uniform, and how long does it take for the car to stop? So in this example, two things are asked. One is the retardation of the car, and the other one is to calculate the time for the car to stop. We refer its solution. Here initial velocity of car denoted by V0 equal to 126 km per hour, which we have to convert either in MKS or CGS system. Now here in the data distance given is 200 meters, so we convert this kilometer per hour into MKS, that is meter per second. So 1 kilometer equal to 10 raised to 3 meter, that is 1000 meters. So this is equal to 126 multiplied by 10 raised to 3 upon 3600, because 1 hour equal to 3600 seconds. So this on simplifying gives us equal to 35 meter per second. Now final velocity of car, that is it stops, so V equal to 0. Distance covered by car before it stops, D equal to 200 meter given in the data. Now first we calculate A, that is retardation, constant acceleration, that is retardation A equal to question mark, and time taken to stop T equal to question mark. To calculate A from standard equation of motion, that is equation number third standard equation of motion, kinematic equation of motion with constant acceleration, that is V square minus V0 square equal to 2AD. Here making A as the subject of the equation, we get V square minus V0 square upon 2D. Substituting the values of V, V0 and D, that is equal to 0 minus 35 the whole square upon 2 into 200 is equal to minus sign common into bracket 35 into 35 upon 400. Therefore A is equal to this, on simplifying we get A equal to minus 3.06 meter per second square, which has been tick marked, and that is answer number 1. So therefore retardation we have to write magnitude, which is equal to 3.06 meter per second square, neglecting minus sign. Now to calculate T, that is time, small t. Now from the first standard equation of motion, V is equal to V0 plus AT. Therefore, substituting the values, we get 0 equal to 35 plus into bracket minus 3.06, the previous answer of A, which has to be correct to get this answer correct, into T. So therefore, on simplifying, we get 3.06 T equal to 35, taking minus 3.06 T on the other side of the equation. So 3.06 T equal to 35, therefore T equal to 35 upon 3.06, which is equal to 11.44, 11 point equivalent to 11.4 seconds. Therefore T equal to 11.44 seconds is answer number 2. Now next sum. Example 3.7. Two trains A and B of length 400 meter each are moving on two parallel tracks with a uniform speed of 72 km per hour in the same direction, with A ahead of B. The driver of B decides to overtake A and accelerates by 1 meter per second square. If after 50 seconds the guard of B just brushes past the driver of A, what was the original distance between them? 3 marks. Now, generally all sums would be of 3 marks. Now here we refer the figure, which we draw the figure, it will be easier for us to understand. See, as shown in the figure, a train in which driver is shown on RHS, and in B train guard is shown on LHS denoted by G and driver by D. D capital driver, G capital guard. Now trains are moving along the right hand side shown by arrow, both in the same direction, and the distance between them is shown by dotted line. Now initial speed of train A and train B, that is VOA equal to VOB, both are one and the same, equal to 72 km per hour, which we convert into meter per second, that is equal to 72 multiplied by 10 raised to 3 upon 3600. This on simplifying we get equal to 20 meter per second. Now there are two methods to solve this problem. In the first one, say let the distance between two trains is x, and then here the method is little lengthier and we have to use two equations, standard equations of motion. One is d equal to v0 t plus 1 half at square, and the other one is d equal to vt, that is as because velocity equal to distance upon time, so distance equal to velocity into time, and then initial distance can be calculated by subtracting, that is equal to dB minus dA. But we solve it by second method, which will be simpler. We see this method, second method, which will be easier and shorter also. As both trains are moving with same speed initially, so VAB equal to VBA equal to 0, that is relative velocity. VAB equal to VBA equal to 0. Now for train B, AB is equal to 1 meter per second square, given in the data. That is acceleration of train B equal to 1 meter per second square given in the data. VBA equal to 0 and T equal to 50 seconds given for train B. Now we have to find out, say x is the distance between the two trains, then xt minus x0, which we have to find out. So xt minus x0 as per the standard equation of motion, d equal to v0t plus 1/2 at square, that is the second equation of motion. We get xt minus x0 equal to vba, that is velocity of b with respect to a, vba into t plus 1/2 ab t square. Now substituting the values, vba equal to 0 plus, so 0 into t, that is equal to 0, plus the second term 1/2 into ab, 1 is given, ab equal to 1 and t is 50. So substituting those values, 50 the whole square, substituting the values and on simplifying, we get this is equal to 1250 meter is the final answer. Now next example. Example 3.9. Two towns A and B are connected by a regular bus service with a bus leaving in either direction every capital T minutes. A man cycling with a speed of 20 km per hour in the direction A to B notices that a bus goes past him every 18 minutes in the direction of his motion and every 6 minutes in the opposite direction. What is the period capital T of the bus service and with what speed into bracket assumed constant do the buses ply on the road? Now ply means what? Ply means run or travel over a fixed route. So now the problem will be more clear. You have to find out the speed of the bus on the route and the period capital T. Now we refer its solution. Suppose constant speed of bus is v km per hour. Speed of cyclist is given as 20 km per hour. Speed of bus from A to B with respect to cycle will be v minus 20 km per hour. Why? Because in the direction of cycle. So direction of cycle is in the man cycling with speed in the direction A to B. So in the direction of the cycle, and it will be v minus 20. Speed of the bus from B to A with respect to cycle. Now that was from A to B, now from B to A, that is in the opposite direction. So it will be v plus 20 km per hour in the direction of the cycle. Now distance covered in time capital T by bus, that will be equal to what? So now we know that d is equal to, small d is equal to v into t. Now here instead of small t we have to replace it by capital T. So Vt upon v minus 20, because that is the velocity of, see here we have found out velocity, that is speed of bus from A to B, that is v minus 20. So Vt upon v minus 20 is equal to 18. Why 18? Because in the question passed him every 18 minutes in the direction from A to B. So 18 minutes, so this is equal to 18. Therefore on cross multiplication On cross multiplying we get, therefore Vt is equal to 18V minus 18 into 20. So this on simplifying we get Vt upon, this is equation number 1, and on simplifying Vt upon V plus 20 equal to 6. So that is equation number 2. First one, Vt is equal to 18V minus 18 into 20. Let this be equation number 1. And similarly, as per the first equation, Vt upon the, in the denominator, instead of V minus 20, here V plus 20, because we have found out here speed of bus from B to A, that is V plus 20, because in the opposite direction. So V plus 20 equal to 6. This on cross multiplying we get Vt is equal to 6V plus 6 into 20, equation number 2. Now comparing equations 1 and 2, we get, that is Vt and Vt cancels away from 1 and 2 both sides, on both the sides. So therefore 18V minus 18 into 20 is equal to 6V plus 6 into 20. Therefore 12V, on simplifying we get 12V is equal to 18 plus 6 into bracket into 20. So 18 plus 6, 24. So therefore 12V is equal to 24 into 20, which is equal to 480, and therefore V is equal to 480 by 12 equal to 40 km per hour. V is equal to 40 km per hour. Now from equation 1 we get, that is this one, Vt is equal to, so we substitute the value of V in equation number 1. So we get 40t is equal to 18 into 40 18 into 40 minus 18 into 20, which is equal to 720. 1840, 1840s are 720 minus 18 into 20, 360. So equal to 720 minus 360 is equal to 360. Therefore T is equal to, that is capital T is equal to 360 upon 40 is equal to 9 hours, which is the final answer. Now next example. A player throws a ball upwards with an initial speed of 29.4 meter per second. Here A, B, C and D, 4 sub-questions are asked. A and B, out of those 4 sub-questions, A and B can be asked for 1 mark each, while C and D can be asked for 2 marks each, or any 3 sub-questions can be asked for 3 marks. A. What is the direction of acceleration during the upward motion of the ball? B. What are the velocity and acceleration of the ball at the highest point of its motion? C. Choose the x equal to 0 meter and t equal to 0 second to be the location and time of the ball at its highest point, vertically downward direction to be the positive direction, vertically downward direction to be the positive direction of x-axis, and give the signs of position, velocity and acceleration of the ball during its upward and downward motion. D part. And the last one. To what height does the ball rise, and after how long does the ball return to the player's hands? Take G equal to 9.8 meter per second square and neglect air resistance. Now we refer its solution. Now we solve A, B, C and D one by one. A part, again we refer. What is the direction of acceleration during the upward motion of the ball? The answer is in the downward direction. Why? Because it is due to gravitation, and the gravitational acceleration always acts in the downward direction. So as it is due to gravitation, hence the direction is downwards. So downwards is the main answer. B part. What are the velocity and acceleration of the ball at the highest point of its motion? At the highest point, velocity will be 0 and acceleration will be equal to small g value, that is equal to 9.8 meter per second square in the downward direction, which I have shown by downward arrow. C part. Choose the x equal to 0 meter and t equal to 0 second to be the location and time of the ball at its highest point. Vertically downward direction to be positive direction of x-axis. And now we have to give signs of position, velocity and acceleration of the ball. Three things we have to write the signs, that is of position, velocity and acceleration of the ball during its upward and downward motion. Now three things, signs have to be written of position, velocity and acceleration, first in the upward direction and then in the downward direction. Upward motion, that is in upward motion sign and in downward motion sign. So C part solution. Now at maximum height x equal to 0 and t also equal to 0, downward direction is taken as positive x-axis, hence position in upward direction, first we take upward direction, that is upward motion, and position will be negative, velocity will also be negative, but the third one, that is acceleration, will be positive. Why? Because it is always pointing in the downward direction. While for motion in downward direction, position, velocity and acceleration, all three of them will be positive, which has been tick marked positive. Now D part and the last one. To what height does the ball rise and after how long does the ball return to the player's hands? Question mark. Here we have to calculate two things. One is the height of the ball, to which height it rises, and the second one is the time for the ball to return in the player's hands. So here take g equal to 9.8 meter per second square is given in the question and neglect air resistance. So this shows that we have compulsorily to solve it in MKS system, and in the data also it is given that a player throws a ball upwards with an initial speed of 29.4 meter per second. So we refer its solution. Suppose time t taken to reach maximum height equal to t, and maximum height attained, that is achieved by ball, equal to capital H. Initial velocity denoted by V0 is equal to minus 29.4 meter per second. Why minus? Because in the upward direction from the ground, going away from the ground. and A equal to G equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Now there are two methods here. We solve it by first method because second method can be taught after doing chapter number 4, which you can do it afterwards. And first method we refer it now. Say final velocity v is equal to 0 because at the maximum height the ball stops momentarily, that is v equal to 0 at capital H. Now for maximum height, from the third standard equation of motion we have v square minus v0 square is equal to 2ad. So substituting the values of v square, that is v and v0 and a and d, we get 0 minus 29.4 the whole square is equal to 2 into 9.8 into capital H. Here in the initial velocity, it is to be regarded as 29.4, minus sign is written, you eliminate that, and while substituting minus sign will be there. So this is equal to 2 into 9.8 into capital H. This on simplifying we get, and making H as the subject of the equation, is equal to minus 44.1 meter, which is answer number 1. That is the maximum height attained by the ball. That is, to this height the ball rises. But minus sign we have to neglect, not to be considered for height, because height cannot be negative, and so H is equal to 44.1 meter is the answer. Answer number 1. Now to calculate T, time to return, time for the ball to return to the player's hands. So from the first standard equation of motion we have v is equal to v0 plus at. Substituting the values, that is 0 is equal to minus 29.4 plus 9.8 into t. So this on simplifying we get, and making t as the subject of the equation, t is equal to 29.4 upon 9.8, therefore t equal to 3 seconds. Now we have this 3 seconds is the time to reach the maximum height. Now to calculate the total time, that is the time taken to reach maximum height, is same as the time taken to return to ground, that is in the player's hands. Hence time taken by ball to return to player's hand is equal to 3 plus 3, which is equal to 6 seconds, which is the final answer number 2. Now next example 3.11. Read each statement below carefully and state with reasons and examples if it is true or false. Now A, B, C and D, 4 sub questions are given, and any 2 can be asked for 2 marks, or any 1 out of 4 can be asked for 1 mark. A particle in one-dimensional motion A with 0 speed at an instant may have non-zero acceleration at that instant. B with 0 speed may have non-zero velocity. C with constant speed must have 0 acceleration. D with positive value of acceleration must be speeding up. Now, out of those four, A, B, C and D, A is true and C is true. A and C, that is the first one and the third one true, while B and D false, while second and fourth are false statements. Why? We refer with reasons. Now we refer A, B, C and D answers one by one with reason. A, the statement was a particle in one-dimensional motion. All A, B, C and D are for a particle in one-dimensional motion common. A with zero speed at an instant may have non-zero acceleration at that instant. True. Say for example, if object is thrown upwards, then speed will be zero at maximum height for a moment, but acceleration will be there in the downward direction, which is equal to g equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Hence the statement is true. B, with zero speed may have non-zero velocity. False, because speed is magnitude of velocity, and as speed is zero, velocity is also zero. C, with constant speed must have zero acceleration. True. Why? Because when particle moves with constant speed in a straight line, why straight line? Because it is one dimensional motion, rectilinear motion. In a straight line, then velocity is constant, and so the change in velocity will be zero, and hence acceleration is zero. Mathematically we can write like this, say A equal to dv by dt as per the formula. So this is equal to d by dt of v in bracket, and as v is constant and derivative of constant is equal to 0. So hence this statement is true. D and the last one. With positive value of acceleration must be speeding up. False. Why? Because the speed of object thrown upwards decreases. As in the first case we have seen A part, that the speed of object thrown upwards decreases. Now this is extra given in bracket, but if the speed and acceleration are in same direction, in the above example when speed of the object thrown upwards decreases, the acceleration is in downward direction, means speed and acceleration are in opposite directions. But in special case, if the speed and acceleration are in same direction, then its speed increases, then only its speed increases, not otherwise. So here in this case, with positive value of acceleration must be speeding up, not necessarily. It is false, because as the speed of object thrown upwards decreases. Next problem. Example 3.18 and the last one. A policeman moving on a highway with a speed of 30 km per hour fires a bullet at a thief's car speeding away in the same direction with a speed of 192 km per hour. If the muzzle speed of the bullet is 150 meter per second, then with what speed does the bullet hit the thief's car? Into bracket, note, obtain that speed which is relevant for damaging the thief's car. Now muzzle speed means the speed of the bullet, muzzle speed of the bullet means the speed when the bullet leaves, leaves, leaves the end of the barrel, barrel, end of the barrel of the gun. Now we refer its solution. Velocity of thief's car, we denote it by Vt equal to 192 km per hour, which we convert in meter per second. So this is equal to 192 into 1000 upon 3600, which is equal to 160 upon 3 meter per second. Now velocity of police's car, Vp equal to 30 km per hour given, which is equal to 30 into 1000 upon 3600 meter per second, equal to, this on simplifying we get equal to 25 upon 3 meter per second. Now muzzle velocity of bullet, if we denote by Vb dash equal to 150 meter per second is given. Therefore velocity of bullet Vb, as it is fired from the police car, so velocity of bullet Vb will be equal to Vp has to be added in Vb dash, so which will be equal to Vp plus Vb dash equal to Vp we have calculated in meter per second equal to 25 by 3 plus 150 given. So this on simplifying we get Vb equal to 475 upon 3 meter per second. Now velocity of bullet while striking thief's car equal to velocity of bullet with respect to thief, striking thief's car, so which will be equal to velocity of bullet with respect to thief. So bullet with respect to thief means denoted by Vbt, and according to the definition of relative velocity this will be equal to Vb minus Vt. So this is equal to 475 upon 3 which we have calculated above as Vb minus Vt, that is the velocity of the thief car, equal to 160 by 3 in meter per second. So this is equal to, this on simplifying we get, this is denominator same, so 475 minus 160 equal to 315 upon 3 which is equal to 105 meter per second on simplification. So therefore Vbt, that is velocity of bullet with respect to thief's car, equal to 105 meter per second, which is the final answer. Over, and that's all.